Just going to make sure I've got enough pure brown over these spots. Add a bit more in that depth there. So basically on the opposite side of the OSL, I'm going to add extra shadow. And we'll give him really nice dark brown boots. So we've got a little bit of OSL on the boot here. Not a lot. I think we can maybe actually bring it down. Just a little bit. So the bubble's quite big. So we can do this. Maybe add a touch to the top of his boot there. And I can get, so I'm going to go with some camo brown for the boots. So they'll be nice and brown. I do have an even darker brown, but the dark brown looks almost black, which I'm trying to avoid. But the camo brown is really nice. It's very warm. Okay. So we'll get this boot first, because I think I need to add a little bit of OSL onto the other boot as well. So it's going to come down here. Need to add a little more OSL along there as well. Get the rest of that boot. Get some more OSL on there. Just bring that up. I'm being quite heavy-handed with it here. I can tidy it up easily enough. So I'm just going to feather it back over and up there. Back over to this side. Get a bit more camo brown. We can just wet blend that into there. This is a bit too bright, I think, for. Let's have a look. It's pretty much here and across this section. We're going with pretty much his entire self is within the bubble. So you have to think about it in terms of bubbles of light. So you can determine how far the light will travel to create a visible effect. You can keep it really small and bright. You can make it a big, soft light glow. But usually the brighter the light, the further it travels. Usually. But it is also worth considering the size of the light source. So even an incredibly bright LED might not produce enough light for it to travel very far. And create a visible glow. And obviously need a coloured light, otherwise you just get regular lighting. Okay, so I need to do a little bit more orange on those boots because they're too yellowy. So we're going to put out some pure orange and make the glow on those boots a little darker and more in line with what we've got elsewhere. So here, bring that up. That's better. Let's make this a little bit bolder as well. So I'm going to go over and add a little more orange into some of the further field areas. Because this will give a bigger impression of distance between our primary light source and the areas that are most impacted, even at range. So we didn't put a little bit on there, so we can just add orange to that. And then we can also do a little bit here. So I'm just adding in the orange. So we want the glow visible. But just. And then obviously it's quite bright here. So I'm going to get some pure mid yellow and we're just going to put that over some of the brightest areas. So this is a nudger, so it will keep a lot of the colour underneath and just brighten it up some more. Like so. Get it over this gun as well. Just going to add a little bit over some of these areas as well. And then we can add an extra coat to the cables. Add a little bit to the hand. Here. Just going to add some more here as well. So this time I'm pushing towards the light source. And then for the cables we'll add some pure yellow. So I'm pushing the cables even closer to that crazy level of orange. And giving it a real glow. Work my way around some of these areas, like so. I'm going to go back over the boots with some more combat camo brown. Just tidy that up a little. Like I say, nice dark brown for the boots. Pick out the shape of that side a little more. Okay, we can start adding in, I was going to give him a black tie. Just in there. Just going to go over and add a little more to that shirt on this side, like so. Office blue. Right, we'll get the beach sand out and do the highlights on the skin that aren't under the effects of the glue, or aren't quite so under the effects of the glue. So we want a little bit there. Catch this cheekbone. Just here. I'm going to take some of the milk chocolate just sink some of that into the recesses on the hand on this side. Just thin that out a bit. I can add a shadow in there and underneath. I mean, you've got to be looking for it, but it's there. I can add a shadow in just there as well. Now, there's not going to be much shadow on that hand, so we won't add any more there. But we can get in this one. And then we'll get some of our pinkish tone, just very lightly. Put that in over his lips. We can sink a little more in this shadow here. Awesome. Right, so we can start adding some metallics. Need to decide what colour gun to go with. Touch up this coat a little bit here. Alright. Tell you what, we'll add that white into the recesses of the gun. And we'll add a little bit onto the pipes as well. So for the recesses on the gun, I'm going with white ink. So I'm just using Liquitex titanium white. This stuff goes on pretty well, so just sinking that into there like that. Oh yes, that's quite white hot. Okay, that's got a good glow to it. We'll make it a little bit brighter around the white areas. Just a little. Ooh, so the inks flow a little differently to the paint. And this is ever so slightly more opaque than the pure white. Just goofed there a little bit, that's okay. So I can just spread that up there a little. Take it out of that. It's looking pretty good. Get a little bit in there as well. So I'm going to thin out the pure white. And on this side, just around those areas, I'm just going to add a little bit of a white wash, just like that. Just ever so slightly brightens it, or lightens it, to give it the look of heat coming out of the gun. Like so. Just a little bit more there. So just making it look hot, as it were, and increasing the glow that's coming out. A little bit there. And this is just with, so versus the other side. And go back to that side, you can see the glow is getting a little bit more glowy. So I'm just trying to reduce the size of the area that I'm working each time as best I can. It's not a lot of area to work with. Okay, I think we'll leave that side there. We don't want to overdo it. I still want the core of those recesses to be glowing bright white. Compared to everything else. Oh, that side went pretty cool. Alright, let's grab some metallic. I think we'll go with some, we'll go with some dark slate blue. We'll go for kind of a steely metallic with some metal plus. So I'm going to go with 1 drop of dark slate blue, and I think 2 drops of metal plus to make it quite metallic. So I'm put the metallic here. So 1 drop of dark slate blue. We'll go 2 drops of metal plus. I love the metal plus. You can make your own metallics with it. It's like, what? So any colour you want, pretty much. Works with other paints as well. Oh yes. So we have a nice blue, dark slate blue metallic. Look at that. Ah, beauty. Yes. So I'm using a synthetic brush because I don't want to damage my sable brushes. So I'll get under here as well. Nope. I think we need a bit of orange in there. Yeah. We can go back in and put that in. I don't want to get the metallics on my brush if I can help it. So I'm just going to go over this here. Like so. So the Metal Plus can also be used on its own as a highlight. So we'll do that. Oh, I've got it on his hand. No. We can get that off quickly. Tidy it up. Kind of just pulled down. Oh, I was going to add some white into the end of the gun. I've still got the ink out. That's fine. We can use that. There we go. So made the end of the gun look nice and hot and bright as well. It's charged and ready to fire. Just going to get some of this metallic. Gently add it in here. So I'm just sort of roughing up the edge a little bit. Where this glow is. With a really thin amount. Just try and add a bit in there. So I'm still trying to make it believable that despite the glow, the gun is still this colour. I'm actually inverse highlighting the gun. Yay! So I'm adding shadow to the corners to make it look more like the gun is this colour. Can't say I've ever got to that point before. Just gently brush that on there. There we go. So definitely giving the impression that the gun is on this colour. Just getting that in on the areas as well where that light is probably in some ways too close to actually reach. That's probably quite well blocked. Okay. Just going to add a little bit of... So I'm going to go with some orange in there first. Like so. When that's dry, I'll add in some of the brighter oranges. Get a little bit in there. Like so. Still got to paint his hair. So we've got quite a difference in the way his skin looks between the two sides. I might have to glaze over this side in the peach mix that I made earlier. Just lightly. Just to increase the contrast with the other side of his face. Like that. That's a bit better. Sometimes a little glaze is all it takes. Add that in there. Just to tidy up a bit. Oops. Okay. So I'm going to get out just the Metal Plus. I'm going to try highlighting the gun with that. Now, I've never actually used this on its own, so this is an experiment. So we'll add a drop of Metal Plus on that. Just going to take oh, that works really well. It's not quite silvery. It's like yeah. That's actually really cool. I like that. Just gonna add a bit here. Pick out these raised areas with this. So it's adding a little bit more shine, but it's retaining the colour that's underneath the metallic dark slate blue that we made. Which is really nice. The stuff is great. I'm going to add a little bit over the glow as well. It's going to help emphasize that it's still metallic, despite the glow, or maybe even more so because of the glow. Let's just add a little bit in there. See, it's retaining the colour underneath. And you can add a couple more layers to make it a little thicker and denser, and you get more of the silvery effect. So we can add a little bit on here. I'm just trying to make this gun look a little more metallic. So just really gently adding some in. Oh, it works so well. It's beautiful. Just put that down the middle there. Get a bit on that. That works really, really well. I love this stuff. I need to use this more often. I need to play with this more as well. Pick out a little bit more up here, along here, so we can get a bit more shape on this section. Right. I'm going to go with some dark brown for his hair and for that belt. And we can highlight the hair up then. If I can get the cap off the dark brown, that'd be nice. I keep wanting to say dark slate brown. I've got dark slate blue on the brain. Right, so I'll paint his hair brown. Like so. Oh, we've got goggles to paint as well. Oh, we can maybe do those in the metallic. We'll do those in the metallic as well. So we'll keep the number of colours on the model to a minimum. It's all... which will help emphasise the glow from the gun. Right, I'll have to fix his head. There's a belt here as well. So I'm just going to get that with the dark brown. The rest of it you can't see. There is, however, this here, which I need a lot more orange on. Orange. Let's be orange. Because this will have quite a bit of glow on it. Put that in there. Add some extra in there as well. So I'm adding a touch of white to these pipes. A bit of extra glow, a little extra energy. So I like the idea that it's sort of pulsating through. So the energy looks brighter in some areas than others. Like so. Bring it around on this side as well. Where's my nudger? Just going to gently put that yellow in over some of these. Oh, there we go. So that's made that look really energized. To get some extra yellow in there, that's a bit too. And that bit there. Getting there. Just going to work on his hair a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to get some. No, not that one. I want that one, camo brown. Start highlighting his hair up here with camo brown. So I tend to go around the crown. Like so. It's a personal preference really on that one. But try and capture the volume of the hair rather than the individual strands. So most of his hair will appear very dark brown. But I can go around like so, around the top of his hair. We can do the front a little as well. I'm just going to add a bit of milk chocolate to some beach sand for the next round. Like so. I think we might have to bring it up a little bit though. There we go. That's a bit better. Yes. I can bring some of them down a little bit as well. So it doesn't have to be even all the way around. Just stipple on a little bit of beach sand. And then finally a touch of white. Really lightly. That sort of maximum highlight. Clean the brush off a bit so I can get that. There we go. We'll get that fleck. Some dark brown. Gone. Tidied it up. And then I'm going to thin out some of the dark brown. Very, very thin. Just lightly glaze back in over some of this. Soften those highlights a touch. Blend them back in. Okay. Oh, and I'll do another quick coat of the blue mix on the goggles. And then highlight those with just the Metal Plus. And we can also shade the boots with the dark brown. So we can get some of these creases around there. Just round that bit as well. So we get around the top of the boots. Just round that bit. It'll help separate the boots from his legs. Because right now they're quite merged together with both being brown. Just get around there as well. He's got quite the glowy gun. I think we need to add a little bit more of the white and yellow to this side. Just going to get in there with some more of this. I'm also going to add a little bit extra into some of these with the white. Gives them a really white, really bright pulse. Like that. And we can add some of the yellow in around the edge of these. I'm going to leave some of the white in anyway. Like that. That's a bit better. That's better. So, well, I think that's him painted so we can base him now. That's not bad for a quick 2-hour paint. 2-hour paint job. We've got a really cool OSL effect with a nicely highly contrasted coat. We've got some nice metallics in there as well. Thank you, little Hamlet. I don't know. I'm just going to slap something on. I'm having a little dig through what I've got. I don't usually have a plan. Don't tell anyone. It's a secret. Let's see, he's in the Wilderlands, which is post-apocalyptic, so we want something fairly wastelandish, I think. So, I can maybe use some. Oh, actually, a nice post-apocalyptic wasteland would be a good opportunity to use some metallic rocks. Okay, so we'll see if we can get some of the finer metallic rocks out. I just put that. Right. I'm just covering my palette so I don't end up with basing materials in my wet palette, because that's not fun. And I want some, and red. Ooh, yeah, the red lichen. That's a good call. I like that. This stuff. That, yeah, we can get some good plant matter on there with that. Okay. So I think we'll use some of the fine husk peat, because that'll make a good sort of like ground texture. It's quite dry looking, and I don't know, looks kind of barren. We'll use some metallic rocks to add a bit of extra interesting texture to it. I've got some red lichen moss that we can use, and I also have some deserty, what are they called? Sandy grass tufts. We can stick one or two of those on there. We'll see how much room we've got. So, just gonna grab another tub. So I've got somewhere for my glue and somewhere for the stuff. Let's not get the two confused. Okay, so we'll put some of this. So this stuff's pretty cool. It's got like rooty bits in as well, which I quite like. I'm going to try and avoid that stuff, I think, for this base. Because there's quite a lot of finer stuff at the back of the bag at present. You can tell which way up I keep it. And this bag's done the same. I could do with separating these out. Get a sieve or something. Okay. So, glue. Just pop that there. Right, so I'm going to move some of these out of the way. And we'll take him off the handle as well. If I can get him off. There we go. Move the handle out of the way. Right, so this is for the glue. So I'll put out a bit of glue. This is static tack. I'm hoping that it will soak into the peat material quite well. So I might need to, I'm just going to put that on there. Right. So I'm going to try and build up around, so he comes on a pre-sculpted base, and I've just stuck it to a Reaper base. So I'm going to build up the peaty material around the Reaper base. I should probably paint that brown first. That'd be really sensible, wouldn't it? Yep, we'll paint that brown first. I've got browns out. So this is what happens. You forget to paint things. I'll go in dark brown. I'll paint the whole base dark brown. It does not have to be perfect at all. Nice dark brown base. I'll get a bit more dark brown out. But yeah, the red lichen moss will look quite good on it, I think. Get a couple of little pieces on there. It's nice stuff, you can chop it up as well, so. Rival Crafts uses it in making sort of like bramble bushes. Which is nice. I have some, but they're a bit too green for this base. For the sort of colour theme we're going with. Not going to be much of a wasteland if it's got, you know, plenty of greenery, is it? It's not what I think of when I think of post-apocalyptic. The post-apocalyptic verdant wasteland. Alright. Just get that to dry off a little bit. And grab a bag of stoof. I'm actually just going to put that in there out of the way. I could do with like a really big tub for this, I think. I might just tip it into a tub permanently. I know why I didn't already do that. I don't have one. Not one big enough. Nope, don't have a big enough tub. Or do I? Might have a new one. This might work. No, hold on. I'll do a switch. Let's put that in there. Because it's got bits in it, obviously. I mean, I do modelling, of course I collect bits. But I have a sweet-tastic tub, we'll put it in there. That'll do the job. Hopefully it'll hold it all. Ooh, might not. It's going to be a squeeze. I feel like I'm pouring out coffee. Looks a bit like coffee grounds now. Yes. And there's too much. I'm not sure the lid's going to go on. Oops. It's fine. I'll sort it out afterwards. I'll just have to use loads on his base. Okay. But at least now I can sort of dip him in. That works. Let's get some of the glue. At least his base is nice and dry now. So this is thinned, but it should dry better than thinned PVA. I should, in theory, be able to just sprinkle some on. We'll get some of this finer stuff here as well. I should be able to put some glue over the top as well, because it's so thin it should soak in quite rapidly. Okay, there we go. See, that stuff's absorbed the glue really fast. So I'm going to try adding a little bit more glue over the top. Yeah, that's soaking in so quick. Hang on. Let me see if I can... So look, it's just disappearing into the stuff, which is really cool. So I can layer it a little more. Should just add a bit more. You could probably also use a spray tack, but you don't really have space for doing that on a miniature. So a nice thin glue works. Then I can add another coat, another layer of this. I'm targeting the thin stuff again, guys. Some of this is quite chunky, so there you go. It's built another layer over it, which is quite cool. Oh, I can get the lid on. Just. We can do it, guys. It's cool. It's cool. I've got it. Look at that. It worked. I have a tub of stuff. I can go back in there. It's going to be dangerous opening that, though. Okay. So I'm going to try and find some nice fine metallic rocks. I'll try and take some of the bigger pieces out, put them in that tub. So there's quite a lot of big pieces on top. I mean, something like that is definitely too big for his base. Look at it. But that's really good for big minis. So we'll just shake out some of the bigger pieces and get to some of the finer stuff at the bottom. So we can. I'm starting to get to some of the finer stuff already. I don't think this tub's going to be big enough. Not for all of it. You don't need to worry if you order from Rival Crafts these days, because all the stuff comes in tubs now. Woo! But I ordered before the addition of tubs. Okay, so I'm going to have to tip some of this back into the bag, because this tub is definitely not big enough. Yeah, if you're ordering from there now, you will get it in tubs rather than in bags. Just going to add some random bits. Okay, so I'm going to coat this, and then I'm going to put on some little bits. I'm hoping this will help it to set and stay in place. There we go. And we'll get the tweezers to do the little bits. So we can get a little like that. So we'll just get some between his legs as well. Some of the glue. It's also adding a really nice dusty effect to his feet. Adding a bit of a metallic sheen to the ground. Like so. But that really breaks up the texture of the ground. I'll just put that to one side for now, and I'll see to that later. Could do the slightly bigger tub for it. Might have one. Tubs are definitely easier than bags. Okay, so we've got some. So this is the red lichen moss. This stuff's very cool. Let me just pull. It kind of all sticks together as it's been dyed. Oh, there we go. That'll do. We'll put the rest of this away. Look at that stuff, though. It's pretty cool. Right. So put that back in there as well. I think I'm actually just going to tear this up. Like so. I'll tear a few pieces off. And put them on around his base. I'm going to put some glue over them as well because that'll help them to set in place. So just a little like that. A little like that. It should help it to set in place as the glue dries, which it will dry clear as well. Glue on that piece there, just around that bit, so I've got it going over his toe, just ever so slightly, so add that piece in there as well. There we go. Right, okay, it looks a little odd because of the glue, but we do have that. So we've got the metallics, there's the browns in there and the reds in there. Let me just take these bits off, like so. It's a nice red weed. It contrasts really nicely with him. So it makes him stand out quite well. And I think that creates quite a nice wasteland base in a changed world. What do you think, guys? So 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2 hours to paint, and 20 minutes to base. 15-20 minutes. It's not bad. Ooh, slight darkening of the lips, yes. Yeah, that will definitely work. They do look a little pasty. I am inclined to agree. Thank you, little Hamlet. Just grab a little bit of that. Not that much. There we go. Let's define his mouth a little bit more. Anything else you think I might have missed? We could go in and add a little bit of the metallic blue to the rear sides of the buttons. That could work. Just a little bit in there. There we go. That's picked out the buttons as well. There we go, guys. I think we can call this chap done. And that leaves us done for the evening as well. So thank you very much for joining me, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed doing a whole stack of OSL. I think this is probably the most I've ever done on a single mini. And I really enjoyed playing with the Metal Plus some more as well. It worked really well with the Dark Slate Blue. And then just gently highlighting with a little of it unmixed with colours. So there we go. So thank you very much, guys, and I will catch you again hopefully on Monday, because that is when my next stream will be. Have a good weekend, guys, and take care of yourselves.